The new DLC for Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Wheatflour Wonderland, comes out in less than 2 weeks, and we've seen even more about the game since I posted that video, everything that we know. So let's catch up on what we've learned since that video, including 4 new images that were only revealed in the Discord. So at first we had trailers in the Nintendo Direct, and then a follow-up trailer from Nintendo, and those were different. Another one on Steam that just repeated the same thing. We had some Discord posts, a Q&A with Sunblank, and game info from the Steam page. And since then we've gotten a trailer for Apple Arcade, and it includes some new shots. Now most of the things we see in here are the same that we've seen before. I'm not sure if we saw this image before. We see some of the different gems in here. I do kind of wonder, is this sand? Is it rock? Because everything else around here has a different texture. We do kind of see some grass in the shot. I kind of like these curly plants with the purple bases. I kind of wonder if those are going to be different. Maybe a collectible or something. And then as we keep going, we get this shot, and this is where we get to see this version of the Cloud Dragon. I did include this in the Preparing for Wheatflour Wonderland video, which if you missed that, I'll link it in the description. We get a different look at one of the new rodent characters here. We do already have the rodent characters on Apple Arcade, so we looked at all of those on update day with 2.8 just a couple weeks ago. But in the shot, we can also see a prize board. I think it's interesting that the prize board looks the same as what we've seen on Friendship Island, and we know that things change from the time they end up in the trailer to what we actually see in game, so I'm kind of curious if this is going to change. And there's so many critters here. We have this area here, so I assume this is one of the new mini games. We can see that there's a ton of critters, and our character is trying to catch the critters. This guy over here, Tiny, they're kind of disappearing into lightning as they try to catch them until they catch this one over here, and then everything else disappears and it turns into Koji Mune's little brother. And we did hear that he was going to be running one of the games, and as a reward it looks like they've won something. Is that a gemstone at a really weird angle? Certainly doesn't look like the book that's on the screen. Let's go back. So I wanted to look again. Okay, so remember I said that one was small? Is that the one that they're catching? There's actually nothing over here when they're swinging the net. So is he invisible, or is he using that magic to turn into one of these, I don't know, wheat dragons? And then if you catch him, he turns back into himself and gives you a prize. So maybe that is one of the mini games, and it'll take place outside here. So I'm not totally sure if we've seen this outfit before we saw this trailer. I don't think I can zoom. It has like a giant bow, and then also look at the crown the player's wearing. Remember we saw those wheat flowers in a field? It looks like this must be the wheat flower crown. We get a look at the back of that dress, and I don't remember if we've seen this fountain or the little maze that's here with the bushes. And we get to see E.B. Fry in the game. He's so cute. We saw him in the background of one of the recent trailers too. I was trying to see what these are up here. Are those tree trunks there? Up in the upper left? I'm not really sure. As it keeps going, we can see some of that stained glass. Looks like now we're up in the back with these stairs. In the very next shot, if we pause it, we can see another one of the gemstones, jumpy areas. The symbol in the middle looks like our fast travel. It's even got the top part, but like the mailbox is missing. So is that going to be our new fast travel? On the right-hand side, we have some sort of flower symbol. On the left, hard to say, are these ribbons, sticks? Not really sure what's going on there, but on this one, that definitely looks like a wand in the middle, and it looks like they're crafting here. The whole thing is like spinning around. Apparently hearts and sparkles come out and it lights up, but then they stop and switch to the next shot before we can see. Based on the picture, this feels like where you would make the wand. And then we go back to the transformation sequence that we've seen. This is a different shot here with the Wheatheart tree, and we get to see a Wheatheart in game. They have now revealed this as an emote in the Discord. We get to see those same 2 critters that we saw before, and the same 3 characters and outfits that we've seen before. But look at this background. You have these jumpy places, got sort of a mountain over here, and then look up in the sky, because at first I was thinking these were clouds, but look at this waterfall. Doesn't that look like maybe, are we looking at even more floating islands over here? Because this round reminds me of this round. This has some sort of peak sticking up over here. Now it's also totally possible that those are just clouds. The pink stuff is sky, but seeing this, And then seeing this, it definitely feels like more floating islands. And that Wheatheart is so cute. Look at him kick his little legs. And the Dust Bunny knockoff bounces. Okay, if we continue ahead, we have this. We have seen this one as a screenshot. So you can see how small some of the characters are, very cinema scaled. And that's the end of the trailer. And then we got even more in the Discord. So if you're not in the official Discord, or you're simply not paying really careful attention, these are really easy to miss. This first one is posted by Chelsea and Sunblink, and that Wheatheart we just saw in the tree, they say these adorable cuties are called Wheathearts. There are 150 of them hidden all around Wheatflour Wonderland, so that gives you a sense of how big this map may be, and it feels like these are going to be our new Gudetama replacement since there won't be Gudetama in Wheatflour Wonderland. I do love the little animation kicking their feet, and then she goes on to say there are many different ways to find them, so you'll have to keep your eyes peeled for anything a little unusual. So going back to earlier information, we were talking about environmental puzzles, kind of like the way you'd find Koroks in Zelda, and I kind of wonder if these are going to be our Korok equivalent in Wheatflour Wonderland. 150 of them though in a DLC, and one that only costs $15, that's like 10 Wheathearts per dollar. So how big of an area are we going to have 150 of these hiding? If you think about it for reference, don't we only have like 12 Gudetama in each biome? So either these are really densely packed in, way more than the Gudetama, or the Wheatflour Wonderland map is going to be pretty big. I'm guessing it has to be something in between, and it looks like we're working with a lot of vertical space, so there may be more opportunities to hide these. Less than anything unusual if we're talking about maybe like Koroks, maybe we won't see them the way that we see Gudetama. It makes it feel like the DLC has to be bigger than a regular biome, but then I feel like these are also going to be more frequently found, or at least in a higher density in some way. And then after this one, we got a series of 4 posts this week, and I'm hoping these continue, where they let us know that some players actually beta tested Wheatflour Wonderland, and now in Discord they've been doing a series where each day one of the players who beta tested the game is sharing a sneak peek, and it's including a screenshot and a little more about their time playing the DLC. So we've had 4 of these so far. We talked a little bit about them on stream. You can see them for yourself in the Discord, but just in case you're not in Discord, we're gonna look at all 4 of those, and then as we get more in the future, I'll compile those for you too. So our very first post was on September 2nd from Planet Moonstar. If you don't know who Planet Moonstar is, they are another one of the Hello Kitty Island Adventure verified community content creators, just like me, and you should definitely go check them out. And they shared one of their favorite things was the inclusion of hidden dialogue based on some of the new mechanics. And they said these interaction features were so unexpected that it made their day. And here's that screenshot in better resolution. I don't think we've really seen owl characters. This is a named character. If we look at the dialogue, it says now who let their child go running about, and we have a big owl about the size of a character it looks like, and then a little owl, and the little one is facing away from the camera. So I'm thinking that's the player character, and we know one of the new mechanics is turning into critters, so this makes me think there's an owl critter you can turn into it. But then, who is Millet? We were only told that there's 3 characters. As far as I know, this isn't a Sanrio owl, but it definitely looks owl-like, but it's talking and our critters don't talk. It is really cute, but is this a new character then? Like, are we also getting a new Top Hat style character with the owl? Do they say different things if you transform into an owl? At least one of the critter owls? But how do we have a critter owl and a talking owl? It makes you think of like alpha Pokemon. Of like the giant protector Pokemon, we've got like the giant owl that talks, and then the regular critter owls. What if you caught a tiny owl in front of them? But that is kind of funny. I'm assuming they're talking about their child, tiny owl. We also get to see some sort of new floor. Got a planter, these new bushes and trees, and we get to see up close one of those glowing doorways. We had seen doorways way in the back of one of the initial shots in the trailer, and I kind of wondered what was in there. Could you go in there with the doorway being glowing? I'm assuming you can go inside, but this was really fun to be able to see a new critter and a new character, I guess. Our next post was posted by Kayla, one of the players in the beta, and she said she's in love with the new clothes and accessories. Magical girl theming is super adorable, tons of color customization options, and there's something for everyone. And in this screenshot, we get a much better look at one of the outfits. So we have kind of a Hello Kitty bow with the wings on it, and then we have this dress, and it's kind of periwinkle and gold, sort of matching the area. And then we get a really good shot of the new character, Kojimune, and she also looks like she's decked out in magical girl theming. I can't remember if we've seen her in her outfit in the previous trailers or not, but she even has the little hearts on her. So we will be unlocking additional outfits for her, or at least one additional outfit. And we get a look at one of the customizations for our character that I don't think we've seen yet. Here it is zoomed in even more. So we have the heart gemstone on this character and on Kojimune. I'm not sure we've seen the bow before though. It looks like the bow and maybe even the dress actually match Hello Kitty's magical girl outfit, but it's good to know you can customize it into a ton of different colors. And this version looks so different than the Hello Kitty version. And then our next post is from Fluffile, another one of the verified community content creators. So if you haven't checked out Fluffile's channel on YouTube, be sure to do that, because she also makes things from the game. And in her post, she tells us she always has fun reproducing things from the game in real life. And so when she saw there were new recipes, she had to try to make one. And of course, the sweet ones are always the best, so she went for Mount Blanc. And we can see as we zoom in, and doesn't she have an amazing backdrop? We can see there's going to be a new dessert in Wheatflour Wonderland called a Mount Blanc. And I looked this up. It is like a chestnut flavored dessert. It sounds and looks really good. And then she actually made it in real life and it looks really good. I want to try some. So we know another new recipe for Wheatflour Wonderland. We have no idea where or how we'll make it. And looking online at the recipe, it is sweetened chestnut puree, shaped like vermicelli, and topped with whipped cream to look like a mountain, because Mount Blanc. So it's made of chestnuts and whipped cream. I could see this being in the oven. With it having whipped cream, maybe also the dessert machine. Things aren't always one-to-one in the game, but does that mean we'll be getting something chestnut flavored in the game? Or will we just be using maybe almonds or some other kind of nut to make this make sense? But if you want to know how to make it, do keep an eye on her channel. Our next post comes from Fred, who said their favorite part was that the game felt wholly new, and they were just walking around with their wand, trying it everywhere and on everything. Were they supposed to stay in Wheatflour Wonderland? Probably, but the added what if was so great and fun. And here's the screenshot we got. And before you're like, oh, City Town is in Wheatflour Wonderland. No, it's not. City Town is going to be later. It's only an Apple Arcade, and it's not related to Wheatflour Wonderland. It just happens to be where the screenshot. And in the screenshot, you can see it looks like they're holding a wand here. So a purple wand. It looks like the ends are black, and then there's some sort of a pentagon gem that's making these pentagon shapes, and they're just kind of randomly exploding. I don't know if something is actually happening here, or if it's just like the effect of using the wand generally. It just kind of shoots out these shapes and then they explode. But I think this might be the first, or at least the clearest shot of a wand that we see, because even in the transformation sequences, I don't think they're holding wands. I think they're just spinning around. And since we see a gemstone on it, and then the shape coming out of it looks like that gemstone, it seems likely we'd be able to make wands with those different shapes and colors. And remember, no, City Town is not coming in Content Update 3 or Wheatflour Wonderland. We'll learn more about that in October, but it is coming in some form this year. So I think that catches us up on most of the stuff we've seen about Wheatflour Wonderland since the major reveal and that much more in-depth video that I made. What are you most excited for in Wheatflour Wonderland coming in less than 2 weeks? Is it the adorable Wheathearts, the new recipes, the wands, the cute clothes, whatever's happening with that owl, being able to turn into an owl, the new mini games, the hidden dialogue, the gemstones, the wheat flowers, just exploring the whole map, trying to find all 150 Wheathearts, the new furniture sets, those new characters. It looks like Wheatflour Wonderland is gonna have a ton of stuff in it, and we don't have to wait that long to see it. Even though I keep saying DLC, it is included if you're on Apple Arcade, since that's a subscription service, just like the DLCs for some other games are included, but it is an add-on purchase for Switch, Steam, and PlayStation, $14.99 in US dollars, and it's an expansion to the base game, not a new separate game. And it looks like you'll be able to play it really early in the game, so even if you're just starting now, you should still be able to access the DLC when it drops in 2 weeks. If you're excited about Wheatflour Wonderland, be sure to give the video a like to help others find it as well. And if you want to see what you can be doing in these 2 weeks while you wait for Wheatflour Wonderland to drop so you can prepare and be ready for when it comes, be sure to check out this video. Subscribe for more Hello Kitty Island adventure content. We will be streaming Wheatflour Wonderland and Content Update 3 on Apple Arcade and on Switch. Turn on notifications to find out the next time we go live. Hope to see you there.